Hi guys, so it is Easter Saturday and I have decided to start my 24-hour crochet challenge this weekend, mainly on the basis that I'm already awake today. I don't often do much on a Sunday anyway, except maybe go and see my parents for dinner, so hopefully that won't eat into my 24 hours too much. But also my husband is not here, so I don't need to worry about his sleep pattern and interrupting him of an evening. So yeah, we're gonna make a start. So I have 24 hours now to crochet. I'm just getting my TV set up so that I've got Critical Role on, and I should be able to get through quite a few episodes and potentially get me up to date. I'm not sure what episode we're on now. I think the last one I saw in terms of numbers was 55. So yeah, I'm gonna sit and get myself all ready. I'm going to start at 8 o'clock. It's currently 10 to 8. I've just ordered food, so that is going to interrupt for a little bit as well. But what I'm going to do is set myself a timer, or like a stopwatch type thing, and count down the hours. So yeah, this is the first time I'm doing this, and I've got quite a few projects. So every time I stop to find a new project, if I finish one, then I'll be stopping my timer in the middle. But I am going to get started with the Lucky Puppy blanket that I've been working on. Now I am into section 3, and this bit of white at the top is all I managed to do today. So I need to finish the heads on this row, and then I have to do another row of the adults on top. So actually there's not an awful lot left. There's maybe 80 rows, and I worked out yesterday that I could do 5 rows in an hour. So I'm not going to need the whole 24 hours to do this. But there is also I think it's called Whip Action April over on Instagram, where it's an encouraging thing to get you working on whips. So I do have, if you've seen my whip audit from December, I do have quite a lot of whips that I could be working on. So I have the granny square blanket because that's a nice easy one. So if I get tired of doing the mosaic, I can go and do the granny square. I've also got, trying to think of the whips that I've got now. I've got a granny square cardigan, so I have one of these, where I'm still only on the first half, so I could work on that as well. Again, it's a nice easy project. But if there is something that I wanted to do that's slightly different and new, I do also have several of these Christmas kits that I picked up from the hut at Christmas 2022, so I could work on those as well. Yeah, so that is the plan anyway. I am just about to get most of my Easter spring vlog footage off of my phone so that it is ready to go, but I now have 5 minutes to do so. So what I'm hoping to do is record a little bit every hour and show you my progress every hour and take photos so that you can see how it's developing and what I'm actually achieving in the 24-hour period. So I'm going to put a new stitch marker in this one on this row. I've got a stitch marker in here from when I last showed it on the podcast, which is down here. So yeah, we're going to put a stitch marker in and see how I do. So wish me luck. Right, hour 1 done, and as predicted, this is where I started. I've done 5 rows, so we can see the puppy's ears coming in now, and I am at the top of the paw print. So we're going to go for another hour on this. So another 5 rows. And if I start to get tired, I know I go wrong on this, so I might have to put it down and do something else, or I might need to have a nap. I don't know yet, but anyway, I'm going to have another hour on this, try and get 5 more rows done, and I think that takes me, I don't know how many rows are left after that, so we'll see. But yeah, it's time to go again. Hour 2 is up and I'm getting tired already. I think it's probably because I've been awake all day, and normally I would have started this maybe in the morning so that I'm awake all day for it. So yeah, I'm going to do 1 more hour. I've got 1 more hour left of this episode. So I'm on episode 49 of Critical Role. It's got 1 more hour. I have already had to pull back 1 row, or half a row, of this blanket because I'd missed an angled stitch. So I am having to, it's taking me a little bit longer to do it because I'm having to check all my stitches all the time. And obviously the light is getting like non-existent outside, which means it's really grainy in here. But I am going to try and do 1 more hour, and then I'm going to have to call it a night, get a bit of sleep, and get back to it really early tomorrow morning, because another hour will take me till midnight, and that's when I start to make mistakes. So yeah, I'm gonna have to have at least a couple of hours sleep, and maybe get up like 4 or 5ish and start again then, because I think that might actually help me. We'll see. Anyway, so 1 more hour. I'll show you a picture of where I'm at, because just let me double check the pattern for a quick sec. I am on row, what have I just done? Actually, I'm further than I thought. I think I've just done row 40, what does that say, 6? No, I can't have done row 46. Also one before it. 44. Yeah, 44 out of 53 for this section. So I should be able to get to 48 at least. And then I'll do the rest tomorrow. Yeah, so I'll check back in an hour. And, well, I'll check back in with you in an hour. And then I think I need a nap. Right, that's hour 3 done, and I've already dozed off once. I think it's time for a bit of a sleep. I have, however, got to the top of the puppy's ears, which means, there we go, I have 5 rows left on this section before I move on to the final section. So at least there's progress being made. Yeah, but I am definitely in need of some sleep. I think because I've had such a full day today already, that's why I'm unable to stay awake. Normally, I'd be fine. Anyway, I'm heading to bed for a couple of hours and then I'll get up super early to continue. Fingers crossed. Well then, it is now 9:30. I did get up at 5 and I was awake at 5. Then I thought, I'll get another hour sleep. So I went back to bed and my alarm went off again at 6. And then I fell back to sleep. So, yeah, not the early start that I thought I would get, but I do have today and tomorrow to finish before Ralph gets home. So, got plenty of time to do my 24 hours. So I did 3 hours yesterday. Going to try and do 12 hours today. Because that will take me until 9:30 this evening, give or take. A little bit for like food and toilet breaks. So yeah, we're gonna get cracking. I am wearing my Granny Square t-shirt from Fibre Lounge. So let's get crocheted because I'm already tired. Right, that's hour 4 done, and I have finished the 3rd section of my puppies. Yeah, so I have 53 rows left. I've got my 2 sections of puppies and my 1 section of adult dogs. So I'm really happy actually. I'm really pleased with the progress that I've made, and it is correct. I have had to pull a couple of bits back, and I think I got a few rows ago. I think here I was like, why are none of my trebles sitting in the front? It's because I'd gone in the top loop and not the row below, so I've had to fix that. There we go. Yeah, so I am 3 sections in, 1 section to go. Can I do 1 whole section today? That is the challenge, isn't it? So if I have 10 hours, 5 rows each, that's 50 rows. And technically, I think I've already done the first row of the pattern repeat for the next section because it's the white row. So, which is row 3. So I've already done rows 2 and 3 because they're at the top of the previous. So yeah, I have 50 rows. I have 50 rows to go, which, as I've already realised, is about 10 hours work. Fingers crossed, right? Yeah, so I'll show you, I'll take a picture and we'll keep going. I've had breakfast this morning already. I do have an egg though if I get a bit peckish, so and I'm already tired. So what I might actually do today is clear my other sofa, because this one is a bit crowded and is usually the one that I dump stuff on. So I might clear the other one because it's a bit bigger and I get more daylight with it as well, whereas this corner is a bit dark. Yeah, so you might have a change of angle entirely. Yeah, so we're going to move into our number 5. I feel like I need to mark these down though, because I am so going to lose track of how many hours I've done. Yeah, so we'll start marking that off. We'll keep going. So yeah, I'll see you for the next hour. have reached hour 10 and this is where we're currently at. We are getting there. Let me just double check. Where am I at? 20-ish rows to go until this is finished. So, it is 27. I think I'm going to have to sort out some dinner for me and Joey, and then I will get back to crocheting. And I have nearly finished episode 51 of Critical Role, so which is the apogee solstice for campaign 3. I've got half an hour left of this episode, so I think I'm going to go put some food on and sit down and crochet for the last half an hour of this episode, and then I'll continue after dinner. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, it is 20 to 10 on Sunday, and I have just finished my 12th hour. I have just started a new row, so I am going to continue and try and get another couple of hours done at least, because I don't know how much time I will have tomorrow. I'm going to keep going until I feel really tired and then I'm going to bed. But yeah, it's coming on really nice. I am now at the point where I've got the nose of the adult dogs going in, so, and the tops of the paw prints as well, as you'll see from the photos. So it's almost there. I'm going to double check actually what row number I'm on quickly. Row 40. So I have got 13 more rows left. So I think I've done alright. There have been a couple where I've had to pull them back because I've done a little bit wrong. But I am just making sure that I'm double checking the pattern now. Because I don't want to keep pulling it back. So yeah, I'm going to finish this row and try and continue for another couple of hours. I've got episode 52 on now of Critical Role, and there is 2 hours left on it. So yeah, I'm going to try and go for those 2 hours and hopefully stay awake. Because yesterday I didn't, and it ended up being 10 minutes into the next episode, and I was like, but I don't remember the last one. So yeah, wish me luck. Morning. It is 20 to 8 on Monday, and last night I finished hour 15, and I also finished all the rows on my Lucky Puppy blanket. Now I just need to decide whether I'm going to do a border or not, but at the minute I'm calling that done, because for the testing part of it I don't actually need to do a border yet. So yeah, that one is done. And I thought I would start cracking on with some old whips. So I have a pumpkin that I started, which I'm going to finish because that will not take me very long at all. It's one of my larger pumpkins, which is why it has taken me a little while to get going with. I have my FCG bag that needs a strap, so I might try and do that as well today. I also have my granny square blanket, so I could do some of that. And yeah, I'm just going to basically grab a project and get working on it and see how it goes. I've been asked to make a tea cozy back in January, so I have also dug that out, which looks like this. So I also have that sitting here waiting to be done as well. And in the same bag I've got a ball of Yummy, which I have put aside for a teddy bear. So those are 2 new projects that I could be working on. But I'm going to try and get some of my smaller whips out of the way before I try and do any new stuff. And I think I'm on the last episode that's on YouTube for Critical Role. I think I started episode 53. So we'll have a look. Anyway, I'm going to go make some breakfast. And then I can probably start at around 8 o'clock. Which would take me probably until 8 o'clock tonight. Because even though I've only got, 9 hours left? Yeah, 9 hours. Obviously in between I'm going to need to eat and go to the toilet, so yeah. It'll probably take me to about 8 o'clock tonight, but it means I will have done my 24 hours, which is amazing. So, but my arms really hurt. I think it's all the tenseness of yesterday and trying to get the blanket finished. But now that that's done, I can focus on other projects and try and get rid of some of my whips list. So actually I've got my whips in here, so let's have a look, because I had 26 at the beginning of the year and then promptly finished 3 and then started 3. And I've started plenty more since. I haven't finished anything else off of this list, so that's what I'm going to work on. I've got the turquoise pumpkin, which I've just shown you, so I'm going to do that. I don't know how much I can get done on the granny square. Actually, I could do my Grinch scarf, because there's not an awful lot left of that to do, and I'm literally going until I run out of red yarn. So yeah, I think I'll do pumpkin, then I'll do Grinch scarf. 2 completely different seasons for spring, but yeah, I want to get some of these whips done, so that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, come along with me for the next day. Right, it's now nearly 8:30. I've had breakfast. I have tried to clear some of the other sofa. There's now just a load of books and paperwork that I need to sort out. And I have put on my Fibre Rocks tea, again from Fibre Lounge. And I am about to start on hour 16. I have my turquoise pumpkin ready, and I can now use the hook from the last project, because that's what I make most of my pumpkins with, in the same hook. So, in addition, my hands got, not that you can see, really cracked and dry yesterday, so I'm going to put some hand cream on first, and hopefully that will stop the yarn from sticking to my hands, and stop my hands from itching, and then we're going to get crocheting. So the hand cream that I use the most is the Body Shop hand cream. This one is the strawberry flavour, or strawberry scent. In the past I have also used the coconut one and the mango one, but these little tubes don't last very long. So actually in my bedroom I have a molten brown big bottle that my friend bought me a few years ago for Christmas, and I put that on most nights before I go to bed, and that kind of helps keep them a bit more moist overnight. So I can put some of this on. I've got episode 53 on YouTube ready to go, so let's get crocheting. Right, just past hour 16 and I have finished the main part of the pumpkin and sewn it up and stuffed it. So I'm now working on the I-cord, which is going to be the stalk, but I need to do double the length and then fold it in half because it's quite skinny and this is a big pumpkin, so I'm going to make a thicker stalk for it. And then I think I'm going to move on to this one, which is the Grinch scarf, because it's C2C and I'm just going until I run out of red yarn, and the hook is already in there. So that is what I'm going to work on next once I've finished this blue pumpkin. I'm just using Big Value DK for this because I bought quite a lot last year. That is what is left over from one ball. They are only 50 grams of the turquoise. So I can generally make one large pumpkin and one smaller pumpkin from one ball of yarn. So I'm going to finish off the stalk for this and then go back to my Christmas scarf. So I'm working on Halloween and then Christmas. So it's going to be a bit of a mix match today, but hopefully I can get quite a few projects off of my list, which is good. So I finished a pumpkin, so that's one down. Time to get on with my C2C now. So I've got a nice stalk in the middle and I have pulled in all the sides. That's a bit more ridged. Yeah, very happy with this pumpkin. And let's crack on with something else. Right, so now the pumpkin's done. It's on to the Grinch scarf. I want to get all of the red done. I need to make up, I don't know how to do the eyes basically. So I'm going to need to work something out, but I might do that another day and just get all of the red done today. So wish me luck. Okay, so you'll have seen that I've just finished with the red. I have now woven in all the ends, so there are no tails anywhere. So all that needs now is the eyes. So that's something I need to play around with. So I won't try and do that today. And I'm looking around me thinking, what else can I finish? So I've just gone through my whip list. I've ticked off the turquoise pumpkin. I won't tick that off yet because it needs the eyes on it. But I have granny squares in this bag, which I made quite some time ago. So I have 11 squares here. They're just solid grannies. And I've been using like rainbow yarn, leftovers of rainbow yarn cakes to work them up. The idea was that I was going to do a whole yarn cake in all the different colours I had in this way and then stitch them all together. But what I think I'm going to do today is make some more and make them into a bag. So right, hour 18 done. I am now starting to put together this crochet bag. I only needed to make a couple more squares. So I have 13 squares. I have laid it all out. I've tried to follow a pattern that I found online. So I might put the link for that in the description box for you. There is also a tutorial by Bella Coco for something very similar, but she does a different type of square. I've just done solid granny squares. Well, it's traditional granny square, but it's all one colour. So and when I looked, I hadn't flipped any of the squares, so they're a bit skew-iff, but I'm going with it today. So yeah, I'm now trying to slip stitch them all together. I've already tried to do it one way, and I only got like some of them together, but now I'm zigzagging so that I can try and get as many together as possible, and then I'm just going to zigzag the other way, and then they'll all be attached, hopefully. It's just the two on the sides that I think won't be. I've just attached the one of them with a slip stitch into the corner. So yeah, I'm going to crack on, keep going. So we have 6 hours left, and it is 20 to 1. So I think that's okay. I am starting to get hungry though, so I'm going to see if I can make a bagel. I made a bagel yesterday for us. Yeah, so need to sort out some food, but I'm going to crack on and try and get at least this bit attached so that I can cut the yarn off and fasten it off, so I'm not attached to everything at the same time. Yeah, and then I'll sort out some food. So on to hour 19. Right, it has taken me an hour, but I have slip stitched all of my squares together and it makes this little bag. So now I need to do like an edge at the top and then a handle for it. So I think I'm going to start on one of the sides. I'm just going to go up and down and round with a double crochet all the way around, and then when I get to the corners, the top, then I'm going to do a chain to do the handles. So yeah, we're now on, that's hour 19 done. So now we're on to hour 20. So I've got 5 left to go, and I'm running out of space on my phone. So yeah, maybe I'll get this one finished and then I will start something else. So this will be another whip that is done. Yay! In the meantime though, I am now starving, so I'm going to go and make some food. Right, that's hour 20 finished, and I have finished my little bag, which I think is rather cute. So I've just gone once all the way around with double crochets, and then on my next round I did 40 chain between each set of peaks so I can make the handles, and then I've just gone back round twice with double crochets just into the handles as well to make them a bit wider. So now I've just got loads of ends to weave in because there's quite a lot of them. It's alright, it's a cute little bag. So yeah, another thing off of my whip list done, and I have 4 hours left to go. So with 4 hours left, I think I'm going to start the tea cozy, which is a sheep, because I finished pretty much finished 3, maybe 4 whips. So I am going to try something new. And this might not take me the 4 hours, so I could have something else finished. Right, I've had a change of plan because the Tea Cozy cover actually says to check it around the teapot, and because it's not for me, I don't have the teapot. So I did the first 50 chain, joined it together, and I was like, that's really small, don't know what teapot that's going to go around. So I thought I would sit and do an amigurumi, but that's a new start. So I was going to do this pattern from Hobby, which uses 1 ball of chenille yarn, and I have 1 ball, or 1 rather messy ball, of toy, which is yummy. So I was going to do that, but I really want to get my whips down, so I've just got up and gone back to my whip stash and found this one. Well, I've actually had a look in my list first, and this is the Granny Rocks jumper by Iron Lamb. I think it's by Iron Lamb. And give me a minute and I'll get it out and show you just how much, or how little I've actually done. This is where it's at. The pink is the bottom, and it's just granny stripes up, and I'm changing every row. I think you're supposed to change every couple of rows or use 3 colours, but I'm using 2. I'm using rainbow cakes. So 1 goes from dark to light and 1 goes from light to dark. So I'm alternating in the hopes that at some point throughout they will kind of meet in the middle. It's like a gradient one way and a gradient the other way. That was the reasoning behind it, but having looked at the cakes now, I'm like, well, that's not going to work when I do the other panels, because this is only 1 panel. So the hook's in here, the pattern's in here. I think it's time to just crack on and do some more. I've just made the decision to actually put it back. So I'm now left with 1 row of the dark. I'm going to do 2 rows of each colour and then change, because changing, it was getting a bit weird in terms of changing yarn every row. So I have a lot of spaghetti on this side and a lot of spaghetti on this side. So let's get to it. Hi guys, I have finished my 24-hour challenge. So I finished yesterday about 11 o'clock ish. My husband came home and then we had dinner and then we watched a film, so it ate up a few of my hours. But yes, I have finished my 24 hours and I can now show you what I have managed to achieve in that time. So I have the Lucky Poppy blanket, was the first thing that I wanted to get finished. So I have a stitch marker that shows me where I was at the start of the challenge. And actually, where I was at the podcast is there. So I'd done that much since filming my podcast. So I think that's quite a lot. So this section alone is 53 rows, and then whatever was in that section there. I think I had 20 rows. I think I had like something like 70-ish rows, maybe 80 to do. So I have finished the Lucky Puppy blanket. It is not all going to fit, but I have taken a photo so you can have a look at that. What I have realised is that I need to actually watch what I'm doing at Mosaic Crochet and not do it whilst I'm tired, because I go wrong. But I can go wrong without actually being tired either. So yeah, it's one you definitely need to count for. But in terms of testing, this is now complete. In terms of finishing it off, I would like to add a border, because there's a lot of ends, and the border will hide the ends, so I don't have to weave them in, which is quite handy. You can just leave it as a fringing. You just tie three of your strands together and then trim them all to the same length, and that creates like a fringing on it, which is great. So this pattern is by Robin Parent, who is crochet.with.may over on Instagram, and I think she's definitely on Ravelry. I think she might also be on Etsy. So one thing complete, in a sense. I wasn't about to waste the rest of my hours though just doing a border, because it's really boring going round and round. So yeah, one thing down. Then I moved on to my whip list. So I had 26 whips when I started this year, because I then found a couple more that I'd forgotten to mention in the video. So I have worked my way through that and picked out the smaller ones that I thought I could get finished. So the first one is a turquoise pumpkin. This is the big size that I like to do. I do 4 different sizes of pumpkins. Yeah, so finish that up. I think I only needed 10 rows left on this. And then to do the stalk and obviously sew it up, stuff it. Yeah, so I'm really impressed with that. That is my own, it's sort of my own pattern. So I follow the Bellicoco tutorial on YouTube. But I have adapted that pattern to get different sizes, and then by stitching around the outside I create a different texture with it as well. So that was the first one. That didn't take me an hour. No, I can go back and check, but I don't think that took an hour. I think in the same hour I then finished this as well. So I went for the seasons, obviously. So this is my Grinch scarf. And all I needed to do was finish off the red yarn. So it is now long enough to wrap with a sensible length for both ends. So that just needs a pom-pom on one end, and he needs some eyes on this end. Now I didn't sit down and do the eyes because I don't have a pattern for them, and it's something I need to work out. So I didn't want to try and make something new up whilst trying to get as much done. So the pumpkin is Big Value DK by King Cole in the turquoise, and koala for the stalk. This is made in Deramore's. I don't know if it's Studio Special or just Studio DK. Then I had some white Stylecraft, and the red is Stylecraft as well. So we have that ready for its finishing touches. And then this took me longer than I thought it should. It took me a good hour or so, if not more, just to join all the squares. So I had 11 squares made. I've just done a very simple one colour granny, but used a yarn cake so it changes colour for me. I've slip stitched them all together, and I worked out that I could do a sort of zigzag to get all of them together, which was quite nice. And then I just needed to stitch up the sides. I've done a very simple handle and border around the top. This is still the same yarn from the same cake. The orange is just what comes after the purple. So I have worked on that. That is another finish. So I have 3 finishes. The blanket is almost finished. It does need a border. But yeah, so this took a lot longer than I thought. I think this took me 2 hours just to finish this off, and it shouldn't have taken me that much. I think because I've not made one before, that might be why, and I just kind of winged it and put it together how I thought it would go together. So yeah, but I'm happy with it. It's not necessarily something that I would use, or I would, yeah, not my usual make, but I had the squares and I wanted to use them up for something, and I didn't want to keep making more squares for something that I wasn't going to really want in the end. But I think this might go on my stall for Christmas, or even in my shop. So yeah, there's somewhere for that to go. So I have my Grinch scarf, I have my bag and my pumpkin, and obviously I have the blanket as well. Now there was time left over, so I'm going to show you what I worked on for the last sort of 4 hours or so. Might have been a couple more. Yeah, just to finish off my 24. So yeah, so this is still from my whip list, and I did frog some of it because I wasn't happy with it. But this is my Granny Rocks jumper, and I will pop up a picture of what it was like when I picked it up out of the bag originally, because I was doing every other row I was changing colour, or every row I was changing colour. So I have changed that so that I'm changing every 2 rows, and it's got a bit of like Wednesday vibes going on now. I actually started this years ago, but it is just granny stripe, and I'm using 2 different yarn cakes, so it does kind of blend. So the light grey that's here is actually turning into white now up here. The dark grey that I started with is gradually getting lighter. What I am worried about though is the next section after the white in this ball is dark grey again, so I might have to do some finagling with the yarn cake. But it's coming up quite nice. I mean, I pulled it back so that there was only 1 row of the dark left, so I have done 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25 rows of this jumper, and I need 71 in total. So I have 26 at the minute. I'm going to keep going with this. I think this is going to be my current whip that I will work on. That isn't a new project anyway. But it's just nice to get this back out. I could have quite easily gone, no, I don't want it anymore, I'll rip it all out. But it would have been a waste of the pink. So, and it is something I will wear. It's just, obviously, I haven't wanted to work on it for some time. So, it was really good to work on that. And these are the 2 cakes that I'm using. Can you see here? It goes straight from the white into really dark. So, I might have to pull from the middle to see if I can find the lighter grey. But there is lighter grey in that one. So I don't know. I have more of these cakes so that I can keep going and obviously do the front panel and the arms, because this is just the back panel. So yeah, I do have more to work from as well. The Granny Rocks jumper is a pattern by Iron Lamb, and I have just been using a 4mm hook for it. Actually, all the projects I've worked on for these 24 hours have used a 4mm crochet hook, because it's all been in DK yarn. I think if I was switching from different yarn types, I might have got a bit, yeah. I mean, like, for example, if I was using chunky yarn, that would have worked up a lot quicker, and I might have been able to make more things. I had planned on making up like a teddy bear or a tea cozy, but then just wasn't feeling it. And I think you need to go with what you are comfortable with, or what you're feeling that you want to do in that time, rather than you have to do this. So yeah, definitely make sure you're working on what you want to work on and not what you feel you have to work on. So that is my advice to you. So all in all, I think I have enjoyed the 24-hour crochet challenge. I have realised that now that I'm in my mid-30s, I am no longer able to stay awake for 24 hours, especially with crocheting. So I used to when I was younger, when I was at college and uni, but obviously I was a teenager then. So I have learned that much about myself. And what I have also learned is that some of the whips that I have do not take that very long to finish. So I am going to be going back through my whip list and finding smaller projects that I can grab, just grab and pull out and then work on a little bit each time and try and get my whip list down, because obviously I have added to that since the year started. So I may have to do another one of these challenges over the summer to see what else I can finish then too. But I hope you've enjoyed this little insight into what you can get done in 24 hours. Yeah, I don't think I would have been able to do the whole of that blanket in 24 hours, but I would have made a very good dent into it and probably would have needed maybe 36 hours in total. Not sure. I'll have to double check how many hours it took me to finish it. So I think it was something like 14 to finish that. So yeah, I've had a good few days in trying to get 24 hours in, and it's definitely opened my mind as to what I am capable of and what I can achieve if I just get on with it rather than sort of going for this and going for that. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed seeing what is possible in 24 hours. It gives me an idea of how much progress I can make on something as well if I just get on with it. Particularly with like the mosaic crochet, I've got quite a few projects that are mosaic crochet, so it's nice to know I can now kind of plan ahead, like how many hours is it going to take me to make something like that, which is quite good. So yeah, I will definitely be using some of the things I've picked up from doing this challenge, and yeah, maybe I'll have to do another one over the summer holidays and make this a regular thing. So thank you for joining me, and let me know what you think was the best part of the 24 hours, or what you think you could do in 24 hours. And if you want to take up the challenge, then off you go. I would just say though, you will need sleep. That's about it. But yeah, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you all again next time. Take care. Bye.